Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all again for stopping by the live stream. Shout out to the NTZ crew. That's Jacob Tanjay. He's about as sure as death in Texas. I'm pretty sure Michael Beach of Life will be on here. Appreciate you, man. Everything you done for the channel. All my fourth quarter members, that's Jeffrey Tatters, Harry Shoulders, Roger Walker, I love the chime, man. Thank y'all, man. I mean that, man. All the old heads, thank y'all for continuing to hang around. Doubtful Genius, Raymond Walker, what's up? I know you up in Manila today. Enjoy yourself, brother. Anybody catching this on replay? And of course, my new viewers and subscribers, welcome. I hope y'all get something out of this today. The peso is 56.24, man. It's inching back up. Thankfully, man. I'm so glad. What's up, Mario? Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I remember you, the big tall guy. He says, hello, sir. I saw we were at the same condo. Are you still in Cebu? Or will you do a meetup here? I'm eventually going to come back and do a meetup in Cebu. They said there's a place in Lapu-Lapu called Cappuccinos or something that they would let us do it there. But I think our next meet and greet is going to be in Bacala, but I haven't heard anything from my buddy John. But I've been looking for a place. I believe I'm going to do it at Palau Hotel. They've got a nice party room, man. And he sent me some prices. Anywhere from 400 pesos per person to 72,000 where they lay it all out. But I'd like to try to get it for at least 4 hours. You know, we always have a topic. Today's topic is spread the news that if it feels this good getting used, just keep on using me till you use me up. Of course, we're going to talk about other stuff, but I was on my walk yesterday, and I was listening to that song. And as a little boy, I was young, man. I wasn't no more than 8 or 9, 10 maybe. I never really paid any attention to the words, but yesterday I did. And, man, I felt that song yesterday. But as everybody knows, man, war is raging all around us. Trump has left the G7 summit in Canada to return back home. He's called an emergency meeting of the National Security Council. They're warning everyone to evacuate Tehran immediately. So it doesn't seem good, man. You know, I guess the United States is going to get involved further in this war. Again, it's the tail wagging the dog. This isn't our fight, guys. And I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. This isn't our fight. Who are we to tell somebody that they can't have nuclear weapons when we're the only country who ever used nuclear weapons on other human beings? How hypocritical is that? See, this is all about white supremacy. Now, whether you like it or not, I don't like it. They really believe there's some type of racial hierarchy and white folks is at the top. And they can impose their culture and values on the rest of the world. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. Sit your old ass down. Because you ain't going to fight. None of your children going to fight. Matter of fact, they're selling cell phones now. But yeah, be careful, guys. I'm telling you, y'all think I'm just talking. I told y'all it's a distraction. He's fighting for his political life. Without this war, he's going to be impeached. So he said, yeah, we're going to go all in. I hope I'm wrong this time. You know, but yeah, he left, and yeah, he wants to be a hero, him and Netanyahu. They've been lying, man. I've been researching this stuff. Man, they've been going all the way back, man, to 1995 in the UN where they were talking about Iran was months away from a nuclear war. I don't really know, but I'm just saying, guys, you know, why can't we live in peace, man? You know, They're distracting away from the damn genocide that the America is co-signing. Man, we're pitiful, man. But if you bring it up, you're not supposed to say anything about it. You're supposed to go along with it. I don't go along with it, of what they're doing over there in Gaza. So now, Lebanon, Syria, Gaza, now Iran. This is white supremacy, man. We need to get rid of it for everybody. Okay? But I just want to let y'all know that it's going to be our children. Dang. Trump's children ain't going. Netanyahu, I don't even know if he got children. It's going to be us. White, black, Asian, Latino, it doesn't matter. We're going to be the ones fighting that war over there. But everybody else can talk about it. But our Sunshine Shows, don't you talk about it. Kiss my ass. I'm tired of this war, man. This is ridiculous. And then you can't even look at the news anymore. It's so slanted. You know, it's white supremacy. They run all the major networks. They act like nobody else has the ability or capability to make a logical decision or anything. Only they can do that. Oh, we don't want you to have nuclear weapons. It's better in our hands. Yeah, I'm more afraid of Israel using nuclear weapons than Iran, because Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. They've never had them. They don't have a desire to have them. But that's the only way that Israel would ever be able to beat Iran, is to shoot some of them nuclear warheads over there without the America. You know, I'm sorry, I just can't be quiet about it, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on that, man. We're going to go on. But, you know, I'm sick of it, man. I've been dealing with this shit my whole life, and I'm going to talk about it until I die. Okay? This is why I think I can't deal with MAGA, because you knew what you were voting for. That's what you wanted. Now, okay, y'all just think I be on here yapping. Now you see where all the corporate sponsors have pulled back from the Juneteenth celebrations under the pressure of this Trump administration. They don't want to be seen as having anything to do with DEI, but yet, in fact, it says right here that, I'm going to show you something, how this is so pitiful. I wrote it down. Although DEI programs aim to benefit a wide range of marginalized groups, research indicates that white women have been the primary beneficiaries of DEI initiatives in the workplace and have often led to increased opportunities for white women in traditionally male-dominated fields and leadership roles, because they're second in line. But y'all bought into it that, oh, it's going to help blacks, it's going to help immigrants, it's going to help Latinos. That's why I don't deal with MAGA. You can unsubscribe from me all you want. I don't care. You know what you were voting for. You don't want a level playing field. You want that shit like that because you can't compete. So that's okay. We'll find out on Juneteenth. If anybody don't know what that is, it's the end of that damn slavery in America. They don't even want to admit that. They don't even want to. They don't want to celebrate in that. Yeah, that is a good distinction, because it's the same in Israel. It's the Zionists over there. A lot of the Jewish and Israeli citizens, they're not for this stuff. But it's just all about politics with these leaders. They're, you know, they think, oh, well, we start a war, everybody's going to rally behind us and, you know, and save our careers because of these horrific policies. You know, the economies of Israel and America struggling. So they need to, remember, blame it on Iran. But don't get it twisted, R68 DVR. Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump, Netanyahu, Michael Johnson, none of these cocksuckers are going to fight out there. It's going to be our children and grandchildren going to be out there fighting. But yeah, they done pulled the corporate sponsors from Juneteenth. It's pitiful, man. But see, I told y'all the other day, we need validation from white folks. That's a weakness on our part. Sponsor our own Juneteenth celebration. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You know, but I seen where Vitali has been moved from the Bureau of Immigration to the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, meaning he's in the penitentiary now. They're not playing with him. They're really gonna, sentence him. Let me fix this light. Seems like this time of the year, the light is so much darker. I mean, brighter. The sun. There it is. Yeah, they're not gonna play with him. They're saying, okay, we're gonna send you to prison, man. You know, we're gonna teach you a lesson, and all the other people coming behind you who think that they can come over here and disrespect the people and the culture. Yeah. Okay, he says, involvement is a tightrope walk here. Israel doesn't have the deep penetrating bunker busters, and we would have to provide them to get to the hardened facilities. Yeah, but why would we even do that? What facilities? Iran is no closer to a nuclear weapon than it always has been. This is just the media. Go back and do the research for yourself, man. They've been saying that since 1995. Oh, they're a week away. They're 2 months away. It's foolishness, man. Yeah, bye. Get your ass out of here. Politics is everything. Stupid. Go on somewhere. You want the status quo. You're probably MAGA. You're probably certainly white. You don't want it to change. You want it to stay the same. But I'm not supposed to talk about it. But all you got to do is cut on YouTube. Every channel's talking about it. But let a black man talk about it. Y'all get upset. Give a damn. Bye. YouTube ain't going to do it to replace you. I'm tired of you sick-ass, sorry-ass, weak-ass men. That's why we're in the problem we're in now, because men won't be men. We won't stand up. You won't be treated like a man, but you don't act like a man. We got weak leadership over there. You're going to send these brave men and women off to die for some weak-ass policies and stuff that you believe in. So go on. Get off my channel. Hey, Brandon, he says, hey, Cal, I've been meaning to get on live, plan to visit in December with my wife. Possibly get a consultation with you via Zoom. What's your email address? Oh, yeah, sure, man. I'll help you. It's Cal Roach, CalRoach1 @gmail.com. Y'all don't even want to hear the truth. You know, we're going to fight that. Innocent people are going to die over there. And it's only going to benefit the United States and Israel. They're on one side and the rest of the world's on the other. Well, they've got some people over here with them, really. You know, I was watching a debate with Dr. Phil, and they were talking about the genocide in Gaza. I've lost all respect for him. Not for once can these people seem to put themselves in the place of the Palestinians and why they feel the way they do. You know, I just don't get it, man. Hey, what's going on? Not once can they even try to see it from their perspective. These people have been occupying us for how many years? 60 years or something. Had their foot on our neck for 60 years. Stole our land, you know, just made our lives miserable, killed thousands of us. But we're not supposed to be angry about it. We're not supposed to push back or anything about it. You know, see, America, being the power that it is, it has to show some restraint. But we're being controlled by Israel, the Zionists over there, by the way. Not all Jewish people. And and Israelis agree with this stuff, but the leadership certainly is. Okay. But yeah, they're selling Trump phones now for $499. But guess what? They haven't told you where they're going to manufacture the phones, but it doesn't matter because there's no infrastructure set up to build phones here. But they never stopped them. Okay. It's a lot of stuff that's going to stop them, but not Trump. It says right here, there's no significant domestic smartphone production infrastructure, largely due to high labor costs, supply chain complexity, and reliance on overseas component sourcing. But that's not going to stop him from selling phones to these fools out here. They're going to buy them. Yeah, of course he is, so he can pardon himself. But yeah, they don't want me talking about it, but the Young Turks can talk about it. And all the rest of them can talk about it. But let me talk about it. They have a shitting image. Well, have one. I don't care. Yeah, he says another grift, a working device. It just says, it says the Trump family is in the phone service licensing deal, and it's, selling a $499 device. They call it Trump Mobile. It's their latest deal to capitalize on his last name while he's in office. It's going to cost you $47.45 a month because he was the 45th president and the 47th. So a bunch of shit, man. Meanwhile, he's getting ready to send our children off to war. Somebody's going to die. All these innocent people are going to die. Yeah, but see, there's the thing. Well, who's supposed to talk about politics? Only the politicians? They're bought and sold, man. That's all politics encompasses everything over there. Who, what, when, where, why, how much. Okay? But you're not supposed to talk about it, but it affects you. They're not going to stop me from talking about whatever I want to talk about. Go somewhere else on them other channels. Oh, look at me, I'm grocery shopping. Okay? And pile up all them views that you watch a man grocery shopping. Get out of here with all the foolishness. I don't want to hear it. Is it 56.4 now? Right before I went online, it was 56.24. Then I made the video today. Is this the beginning of the end? And when we're talking about, men and women can't live together. We're so different. Biologically, psychologically, culturally, socially. Our interests are different. Our preferences are different. But we keep trying it over and over and over. They call it insanity. Okay, I likened it to pulling the pin on a hand grenade and throwing away the pin. It's going to blow up on you eventually. I can trace all of my failed relationships back to the day when we moved in together. There's something called living apart together. Hey, Brandon Rice, thanks for that super chat. Yeah, you're welcome, man, but we're not supposed to talk about it. Only the white folks can talk about it on TV. And then they're going to spin it. They're not going to give it to you. But a regular guy like me, who's lived through this bullshit my whole damn life, white supremacy breathing down my neck. But if I bring it up, now they don't want to hear it. I'm not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. I'm telling you, that's an ideology, whether you want to believe it or not. Okay, that there's a racial hierarchy and white people are at the top and they should dominate and they should control everything. And their culture and their values are superior to everybody else. That's bullshit. If you don't hear nothing else on this live stream today, that's bullshit right there. And everybody that voted for Trump, that's what they want. That's what they believe because they knew what they were voting for. He showed it to you. Okay? He got them dumbass people believing anything he say. White women are the ones benefiting from DEI. Okay? The most. Okay? It's all white supremacy. What do you think? Israel, do you think they're Africans over there? You think Israel are Africans over there? You think they're Palestinians? You think they're Arabs? You think they're Latinos? No, they're white. They're not even from that part of the world. But it's the Zionists, guys. It's not all Israelis. It's not all Jewish people, man. But we want to pretend it's not the reason why all this trouble's going on over there. And they done killed so many hundreds of Iranians, but all they're talking about is the 23 or 24 Israelis that have been killed. Oh, they're targeting, imagine they're saying they're targeting civilian areas when they've just killed, right now, since October 7th, 62,000 innocent men, women, children, just bombing. You can't even go. They say, hey, run. Well, where am I going to run to? And we're co-signing it. America, the government of America. All those damn people you're putting in office over there, okay? They can't say it on YouTube, but they can say it in private. They're against all that, but I'll be damned. They can't do it. Hey, Blizzard, bro, thanks for that super chat, man. He said, salute, Brother Cal and the Sunshine Shoulders family. Yeah. Well, you know, we don't have to agree, but don't be delusional. Don't be in denial about what's going on. I'm just a regular guy. Okay? Can't we have that discussion? We're in the locker room. We're out to lunch. We're at the meet and greet. Okay, it's just a live stream. That's all we're talking about. But the minute I say, oh, you're too political, damn it, cut on every television right now, and the Iran and Iraq, and the Israel war is going on, and the politics behind it. Okay, they've been saying that Iran they've been close to a nuclear weapon for decades now. The hypocrisy that Israel has a nuclear program, but they're conducting it in secret. Okay? But they don't want Iran to have one. So they say, oh, we're going to strike. It's a preemptive strike. No, it's not. That's illegal. You did a preventive strike. Same way what we did over in Iraq. Based on the lies that Israel told. There was no weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein was not a threat to the United States. Okay? And wars never solved anything. It's only created more problems. I'm not the only one here that's been around for 62 years and been watching this stuff my whole life. People get on my nerves, man. No, this is my character. If you only knew how I really feel on the inside, granted all my life, okay, I'm passionate about this stuff. I'm tired of people sitting on the sidelines. Blacks, whites, Latinos, Asians, whatever it is, and let this whole damn world go down the drain. You let these old white men ruin our lives. Meanwhile, they back and forth over there in Ukraine and Russia. They don't know what side to get on. Now remember, Ukraine at one time had nuclear aspirations, okay, and were working toward a nuclear weapon. They even had it, okay, but they were talked out of getting rid of it. Do you think if they still had that nuclear weapon or getting close to it, that Russia would invade it? Absolutely not. It's a deterrent. Well, you ain't gonna tell me to shut up. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we were talking about that. And men and women are different. When I go back to my first marriage, before we were married, she had her own place. I had mine. Then we got along well. The minute she convinced me to move in with her, all hell broke loose. Of course, I didn't fight it. I didn't even think about it. But all hell broke loose. Why? Because we're so different. We're not polar opposites. Okay? But we're different enough that there's enough guys on here. The problem is people don't want to get honest. You know, some guy was like Hal Funk base. Hopefully he's on here today. Yeah, you lost me, bro. I was married for 20 years. And then my wife started acting the way I said she was going to act on the video. I said eventually shit's going to go wrong. It's the beginning of the end. It just took you 20 years. I said, dude, you agreeing with me. Okay, and the same thing's going to happen when you start living with that Filipino girlfriend you got, and you're going to marry her, and you live with her full time. Okay? But there's something called living apart together. More and more people are doing it, and they're finding success. Independence, flexibility, freedom. You know, you still got the companionship. You're not lonely. If I'm spending 12 hours with you every day, I'm not going to be lonely. Lonely is just being by myself days upon end, weeks upon end. But they said, yeah, there's two good things they said about living together. Companionship and support. But then the third thing is conflict. Okay? It's coming, guys. If you live with somebody, it's coming. It's only a matter of time. And some people can deal with it better than others. So they stay in those relationships and they get sicker and sicker and sicker, and it gets more toxic because we put a value on the amount of years you've been married. We don't put a value on how happy you're supposed to be. That's really how you should gauge a marriage or a relationship. How happy are they? Not how many years. Oh, they've been married so many years. You know. Yeah, there's no weapons destruction, man. It's gonna happen now. Blizzard abroad. You know, when Trump calls an emergency, he leaves the G7. He calls an emergency meeting of the National Security Council. What do you think they're gonna do? Sell Trump mobile phones? And then he warns the citizens of Tehran, if you're in Tehran, leave immediately. What's up, Jews? I saw where you said you got a story. You can bear witness to what I was saying about men and women living together. I know why men do it. We want the pussy close by. We want access to it. And the women want it because the money's close by. But it means something totally different to us all. Okay, when you move a woman in over here, you're moving in the NBI, you're moving in immigration, internal revenue, the police, social services, and your grandmama. And as long as you can handle that, okay, but don't say, well, it's so many challenges with that. We talk about a multiple of topics. But this, you don't listen anyway. Me too. He said, political reasons why I don't watch TV. I'm here for the Philippine content. Thank you very much. I'm 64. Yeah, but you don't listen. You don't follow any directions because the minute you get over, you're on the dating site now. You've already sent money over here already. Okay, and if you haven't, you will. The minute you get off that plane, you're going to move some young, attractive woman in with you. And it's going to be the beginning and the end for you. Because you claim you want this information, but when we give it to you, what do? You reject it. Okay, so I'm giving it to you now. Okay? Yeah, that was a big mistake. They should have kept their nuclear weapon. Who is the United States? Who are the United States government to tell anyone about nuclear weapons? When they're the only ones who've used them on other human beings. This Christian nation, by the way. That's why I put on my Facebook page the other day. I've never had a problem with Muslims. It's these Christians and so-called Christians who have given me hell my whole life. and continue to give me hell. Okay? He's nothing but a liar, man. This guy lies so much. All you got to do is do it. Go on YouTube, go anywhere and Google it up. Netanyahu talking about weapons of mass destruction in Iran. It's going to go all the way back. Trump's going to go all the way back. I found a video of Trump talking about Obama was weak, because he's going to start a war in Iran, he said, because he's weak. He has no negotiating skills. He doesn't know how to work out a deal. And I'll be down if this guy done ran home to the United States getting ready to start a war. He's already started it. Israel wasn't going to attack Iran without the United States approval. Okay? But everybody knows this, man. It's white supremacy, guys. But I'm not afraid to say it. What's right there in front of my face? Remember, it's the nitty-gritty, what I'm seeing, living, and experiencing. That's all it is. You can't tell me I'm lying because you haven't experienced it. Cut on the TV now. And every channel, CNN, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, certainly Fox, they're over in Israel talking about, crying about their losses. Israel started it. Okay, 20-something people, one person dead is too many, but hundreds dead in Iran, not once, if they cried about that. Okay. Hey, Mike D, thanks for that super chat. He said, we appreciate you, brother. Man, thank you, man. I appreciate it. He said, why does that change? He said, why does that happen? The minute we're moving together, the relationship changes. We're too close in proximity together, man. I don't know. We're stumbling over each other, breathing down each other's necks, smelling each other's farts. I used to drink and get high and waste all the money. I'm pretty sure it used to piss her off. But no more than it pissed me off when I go to use the bathroom and there's a damn bloody tampon in the damn garbage that I got to look at. That's going to ruin me, ruin my libido for the next 30 days. And all the other stuff that they do. And all the stuff we do. Which is too different. But we know why we do it. We know exactly why we do it as men. We want access to that. To the booty. Whenever we want it. And see, that gets on the woman's nerves. See? It's both ways. We want sex all the time, but they don't. Remember, the biologists say that men want sex 30 days out of the month, and women want it 7 days out of the month. See, them 23 days is going to cause some problems for the woman. So what if we didn't live together? Okay? But no one's ever even tried it. Certainly over here, because they're not going to trust you. Oh, you're fooling with all the women over there. I just try to bring up stuff that we can talk about, guys. That we can have a conversation about. We don't always have to talk about the same stuff every single day. But for people to try to put my content down, there's a guy on the video right now, he's grocery shopping. I'm not knocking him because he's winning. But I'm just saying, and you're going to come and push back against my content? I mean, I believe that the vloggers, should have, this YouTube community should be tighter than it is. I'm never going to knock anybody because I know how hard it is to keep on coming up with content day after day after day, week after week after week, year after year after year. But there's a guy right now who has a video of him grocery shopping. And last time I checked, he had 10,000 views. But the real stuff, because they want to live in a delusion, they want to live in some fantasy world. When they get over here, you're gonna catch on fire, man. Everything that can go wrong is gonna go wrong. And when it all starts happening all at once, that's culture shock. Okay, remember the levels, the honeymoon period, the disillusionment, then the culture shock, that shit's real. Okay? And eventually, it's like I had to tell that guy, how funk base, eventually it falls apart. Eventually you say enough is enough. Okay, somebody's going to break the agreement. Somebody's going to break that yes agreement. As long as you say yes, I'm going to say yes. Okay, because every relationship you've ever had, and you lived in and you moved in with the woman, it eventually came to an end. I know yeah. Well, not yet. How else are you going to get a woman over here? Huh? How else are you going to get a woman over here? See, y'all don't want to be honest. If you're not on the dating site, you better get on one. If you think these young women want a 64-year-old man, breath smell like Marlboro cigarettes and cheap liquor, you think they want you all up in their face, dude, with a 5 o'clock shadow. Okay, you got that old man smell going on. You've been watching the wrong channels, because I'm telling you the real, that's the nitty gritty. They want to do it discreetly. Get on the dating site. Let's discuss things there. Don't be all up in my face. You're going to embarrass me. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Wait, I want this, but I love John said. And I'm coming back to you, Tyler, in a circle. He said that gives a huge bargaining chip, having the nuclear weapons. Okay, now, remember, Iran was involved with the United States in negotiations. They already had an agreement. I got a video I could show you right now. Trump proudly standing up there when he took over, counseling that agreement that they had. Okay, and I'm giving maximum political and economic sanctions against Iran. He said that in his first administration, in his first term. These people, they don't want peace with Iran. Okay, they don't want peace with anybody really that doesn't look like them. Okay, you see how fast they done jumped into this Israel-Iran thing, but yet they're going back and forth with Iran and Ukraine because those are white folks. Okay, that's why, guys. If Ukraine were the Congo, man, they'd have been and told Russia to clean them out. Or if Russia were the Congo, they'd have backed everything they had behind Ukraine. But they're in a quandary. I got a white man on this side and a white man on this side killing each other. I better stay back. I'm not going to bother. Oh, yeah. But it's a huge bargaining chip. So they were saying, okay, we're not even close to having weaponizing nuclear weapons. We'll come to agreement. While they were in negotiating, Israel does the sneak attack. Okay, so what makes you think that Iran is going to be like, man, I cannot negotiate with you guys in good faith anymore. We're going to go ahead and build a nuclear weapon to keep y'all honest. You don't think that the United States didn't want North Korea to have the nuclear weapons? They called their bluff. Okay, they called their bluff. He said, Sunshine Show, keep preaching, brother. No, some never listen and some go completely opposite of the advice they ask for. That's right. But they'll say, oh, I want to hear the Philippine content. There's a million channels on here that's going to give you that sugar-coated bullshit that you're looking for. But you come on my channel trying to mess up my live stream. Okay? You got 70-year-old men on here telling you that, oh, yeah, I can have, I'm attractive, I'm rich, and I can have any Filipino woman I want. Those are the channels you're looking for. Okay, go find those channels. But let me warn you, they're lying. Every last one of them met their woman in the same place we all meet them, online. Okay? He said, you hit it when you said men want proximity, access to sex. But women want you for the access to money and to control. We all know it, Jews, but we're not going to admit it. So we do this insanity over and over and over again. Sometimes it lasts 18 years, sometimes 10, sometimes 20. But eventually, you're going to get enough of each other. You're going to get enough of that. You know, because I don't want to be sleeping with my grandmother. Okay, because it's going to be control. But I talk about real life stuff that you've all been through already. You love the woman to death until you don't. Until just being around them makes you crazy. But y'all want to act like, oh, I don't help it. Hey, what's up, Mario? You know, just be giving suggestions, brother. That's all based on my life. Majority of my videos are about me, guys. I tell y'all that over and over and over. What's up, Cisco? Yeah, he said, I thought convicted felons weren't allowed to travel outside the United States. Well, we already know what that is. There's two sets of rules, one for them and one for everybody else. You can't even get a job as a convicted felon, but he can run and be elected for president. But people will argue with you, and then here's what MAGA say: oh, he was wrongfully convicted, they'll say. So you can't argue with them. No, this is me every night. Okay? This is how I am all the time. It's just that when people get on here, that guy, oh, it's too political tonight. Bye, man. YouTube ain't gonna do it to replace you. You know, y'all don't hurt my feelings with that, man. YouTube is in business with Sunshine Shoulders. Okay, we got a good business going, a good business plan going. Okay, if you leave, they're gonna bring 3 more. Okay, they're gonna find out a way to keep this train going. You know, as slow as it is, they're going to keep it going. Yeah. That's all it is. Trust me, Sperling Evans, he said, another lie, it's not the Middle East, it's Africa. That's because they didn't want, you got to realize that term was invented during World War II. This is how racist America was then. It ain't nothing changed. They didn't want to say Northern Africa or whatever. They still got people thinking Egypt's not in Africa. I was on the USS John F. Kennedy. Okay, 1984, we cruised through the Suez Canal. Okay, so you're exactly right about that. Yeah, he said, asked George Burns, what was the secret to his success living in Hollywood with only one wife? He said 2 bathrooms. But it really doesn't matter, okay? You can give us the best advice, and me and I are going to take it. We're not going to take it. We're going to pull the pen and throw the pen away. That's what most of us do. Okay, you heard that from me, because that's what most of us do. I'm going to show you, I pull the damn pen and throw it away, and it's going to blow up on your ass. Yeah, that's what we do. That's one good thing that came out of social media and YouTube. You get more than that mainstream media, man. And mainstream media is so sickening now. I mean, I can't, you just wasn't paying attention when you were little, like you are now. And you see how biased it is, how one-sided it is, because Israel, AIPAC, and all that, they got our politicians that bought and paid for. Why you going to keep, okay, you're supposed to be a Christian. Why you going to keep arming these people to commit and allowing them to commit a genocide, okay, over in Gaza? Because all you have to do is convince people that the enemy is not a real person. They did black people like it was still being done like that. That's what the media does. They make you think that Palestinians or Iranians or whoever it is, Iraqis or Afghans are not real. They're animals. Or we can just kill them indiscriminately, and don't have to look back on it. Jesus is going to forgive us. God is going to forgive us. Moses is going to forgive us. That's bullshit. That's why I don't buy that stuff. I don't want a God that's going to reward people for that type of behavior. And even so-called knew about it beforehand and all of that stuff, man. I'm not stupid. Hey, welcome. Well, it's getting more and more popular. Okay? It's getting more and more popular. He said, I've heard about couples living in different homes. Who said you have to live in the same home? And after these disastrous results, why haven't we tried to fix it? Okay? If 50% of new divorces are ending new marriages are ending in divorce, and then it keeps going up the more times you get married, what's the common denominator there? You living together. Look it up, we're different biologically, psychologically. We don't even think the same. Culturally, socially, your interests are different. Your preferences are different. Okay, then you amplify it when you come over here and you put the age gap onto it. We have nothing in common. Okay? But right here it says what's going on over here, because we're gonna get to this, because it's really interesting what I want to talk about today. They call that mutual exploitation. That's what they call that. Both of you are taking advantage of each other for your own benefit. You're using each other to fulfill personal needs or desires. That's why it works for as long as it works. Okay, because it shouldn't work at all. Okay, but let me get to something I wanted to bring up. Actually, this taxi driver now. This is the way I told you. I've got a do not call list over here. Meaning, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But you only gonna fool me once. You can cheat me one time, and that's it. I've never spent enough peso. Well, there's a taxi driver who is who's been suspended because he charged somebody 1,260 pesos to go from Terminal 3, from NAIA Terminal 3 to NAIA Terminal 2. Now, he's going to risk his, his job, his career for 700 pesos, basically, because it says normally it's going to cost you, it says 400 to 500 pesos for that trip. But he charged the people 1,260 pesos. They turned him in. Now he's suspended. He can't work at all. And that's the thinking of some people over here. Certainly the taxi drivers. Instead of them, okay, a friend of mine who's very well off. He's wealthy, as a matter of fact. He hires a driver and he hires a driver and, a chauffeur and everything to take him around, paying the guy just a tremendous, he'll never be able to earn that much money again in his life. Well, he says out of his own mouth that the guy was cheating him in a lot of different ways. So he fired the guy. Okay. Instead of the guy saying, okay, I'm going to treat this guy, the right way, like I'm supposed to be treating him, and continue to live good, taking him on trips with him. Everywhere he goes, that's his driver. But he said, hey, this guy cheated me. Okay, and blew it. The best job he is ever going to have, paying more money than he's ever going to dream of earning. So the article says, use Grab. Okay. But let's get to the subject today. It says, I'm going to spread the news, even though the spell check messed me up here on my title. That if it feels this good getting used, keep on using me to use me up. How many people dating Filipinos have been told, oh, she's only using you? You're a fool. Okay, you're a sucker. All right. And then, channels like mine will try to give as many suggestions and advice as we possibly can to help them, But who are we to give grown men, to even suggest to grown men what they do? Okay, remember I told you I listened to that song yesterday, and I'm going to tell you what stood out to me. He said, use me by Bill Withers. I was listening to it yesterday, and I felt the song. I said, he acknowledges he's being used, guys, okay, against the advice of his friends and family. But he continues the relationship anyway because he enjoys it. He can't get enough of it if you listen to his words. I'm just summarizing it. He wants everybody to know that if it feels it's good getting used, just use me up. And I feel that many of us are Bill Withers. We're getting from the relationship everything we want. We're happy and satisfied, so you can call it what you want. Because in one of the verses, he said, his brother told him, say, hey, man, sit down. I want to talk to you. You shouldn't let that woman walk all over you. Now, how many times have y'all heard me say that, right? And he says to his brother, he said, if you only knew, you'd wish you were in my shoes. See? And I believe that's what's going on over here. Men are really getting what they want. We're at a stage in our life like, well, who cares? We're using each other. Okay? But it's the young, but because it's a mix now, it's more young guys coming over here. They're the ones who are throwing the wrench into the game. That's growing up, oh, I'm not going to do that, and y'all fools, and I'm never going to pay for anything. Because he says in the song, when you love me, I can't get enough. I mean, he's screaming it. And that's what happens over here. Guys who were crickets, they were Mr. Nobody in their home country. Nobody calling them. Nobody coming to see them. Nobody caring. All of a sudden, they're getting the best tune-up in their life. They've never made love that good. They can't remember. Probably never. And they're like, man, if you only knew how good I got it, okay, you'd wish you were in my damn shoes. He says the biggest problem in the beginning of a relationship, we're given enough time to really get to know each other, and all we're worried about is to push it. We're not giving each other time to really get to know each other. But even when you get to know each other, okay, eventually, man, you just, you don't have any wiggle room. You don't have any room. You can't come and go as you please. You can't do it. Somebody's feelings are going to get hurt. Okay, I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen. You feel obligated. It's just got to stay here and be miserable. There's no trust for real. Hey, Will Bro, thanks for that super chat. Will Bro 61. He says, salute, Cal. Channel support from OG Will. Keep truth telling 100. Man, thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. I just like to talk about different things, have a conversation. Yeah, I really am channeling Bill Withers because I was walking yesterday and it came on, man. And for the first time since I can remember, I felt his words. I heard what he was talking about. He said, my friends feel it's their appointed duty. They keep trying to tell me all you want to do is use me. So, they think it's their business, to tell him about his woman. But he says, here's what he said. He says in the song about this use me stuff. And then that's when he says, I want to spread the news that it feels it's good getting used. Keep on using me till you use me up. And I believe we're all Bill Withers over here. Most of us are. We really don't care what you're saying. It's too good. And then I'm using you to do the things you're doing for me. So it's mutual exploitation, basically, is what it is. Even his damn brother told him. So if he ain't listening to his brother, he ain't going to listen to me. Okay. Yeah, I hear you, brother. That sports is another big distraction, man. Meanwhile, the world's getting ready to is on fire, man. Trump done called an emergency meeting of his, of his generals and stuff, man. Something's getting ready to go down. He's warning people in Tehran, but he ain't warning people in Russia. He ain't warning nobody in Ukraine to leave, but he's warning the people in Tehran. See, that's white supremacy, man. That's what that is. They think that non-whites are not human. We can do anything we want to them. Okay? They're not saying that. Look what they're allowing on their watch. Not only his watch, it was so many presidents' watch of what's going on over there in Gaza. Okay? We're on the wrong side of history with that, guys. Because they're not white. He's saving white folks. He got white folks coming over here. He giving them a free ticket to come over from South Africa, man. Y'all better wake up, man. I'm sick of it. Because white supremacy is not good for anybody. Okay? But yeah, he says, it's problematic calling yourself God's chosen people if you're trying to make peace with another God's chosen people. But you know, most Israelis, I've been to Israel. I've been to Haifa, Israel, where they're bombing now, right? I've been to Haifa, Israel, was treated very well. I enjoyed myself. That's the place I told you. It's so religious. There's no hotels where you can take the women, right? You got to screw them outside. And then, you're trying to do what you're doing, and there's a man peeking through the damn bushes. Her bodyguard. Yeah, I was tripping, man, because you see the lady and, you negotiating with the woman. Hey, yeah, come on over here, right? And you down there, and then, you just happen to look over and you see a set of eyes looking back at you. If you want something to kill your libido, but it didn't kill, man, because we had been out to sea for 73 days. A pair of eyes wasn't going to stop me, okay? I was going to get my 3 minutes in. Okay, now they're trying to be generous. They're saying, most men, orgasm in 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah, well, big deal. But I was going to get my 3 minutes in. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I liked it over there. But we're on the wrong side of history, guys. Imagine how quick he reacted to Iran. And he's stumbling all over himself when it comes to Ukraine. He don't know what side to take. First, we were on Ukraine's side. Now he's basically on Russia's side. He's going to go back to Ukraine's side eventually. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, announcing your exit. They don't realize, Blizzard Abroad, that YouTube is in a business. And when they see that they're earning money, they're not going to let one disgruntled member get in the way of that. They're earning money off these guys anyway. Even if you're not uploading the video, they're earning money. They're selling all your damn information. Okay? They're taking your time because when you watch one of my videos, they're going to recommend 100 more similar to mine. He said, let's get rid of the illegals because they're criminals who are robbing and raping. But let's vote a robbing rapist as president. Yeah. Well, it's two forms of justice over there. And I think you know that, Cisco. Okay. One for them and one for us. You guys don't even want to get into this. What's up, Elad? Long time. Somebody asked about you the other day. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, 53 Shades Darker. He said, get these likes up, please. Well, that's what it's all about. They're talking about negotiating. Well, hell, Netanyahu don't want to negotiate with nobody. It's all about killing people, man. They're just monsters, basically. Burning and killing and raping. That's all. They don't want to negotiate. I mean, imagine they'll kill you, and then the mainstream media will talk about it like it's nothing. Like those Iranian nuclear scientists and generals are nothing. But you let Iran retaliate, and now it was a mother and her two daughters, and they make it personal. They try to make you care. But on the other side, it's like their collateral damage. When they killed those two generals, hell, they killed 60 people in the whole damn apartment building where he lived, 20 children. But you're not supposed to care about them because they're Iranian. They're non-white people. They're non-human, man. Much longer are y'all gonna sit around and watch this stuff and accept it, man? And claim you Christians and Muslims and Hindus and Mormons and all that. But you're gonna sit around and do nothing. Then when you go in front of your God, you're gonna say, well, what did you do, man? They were down there, burning kids alive over in Gaza. They won't even let aid come into the people. They starving them. But then you want to talk about moral ground? You're crazy, man. I'm not going to be quiet about that, man. Y'all know that's happening. He said, yeah, I like having two bathrooms. The bidet in the bathroom leaves the floor wet. Yeah. But we don't want to even talk about this. We just keep entering into this agreement, into this arrangement, rather, knowing it's going to fail. If I told you, man, Sperling, if you walk across that road, there's about a 60% chance, 70, that you're going to get run over, man. Aren't you going to be skeptical, man? You're going to be hesitant about crossing the road. But hell, we not only do we cross it, we put on the damn blindfold and cross the damn road. Because we want the pushy. That's what. We want it nearby. Right here. We want access to it. And that's going to cause problems. Hey, Booby's first day of school. That's what we want. He said, I used to record NBC Nightly News and fast forward. In 2021, it was 12 minutes of COVID stories and 10 minutes of pharmaceutical commercials. Yeah, you can't believe anything on there now. It's really bad. I'm glad that there are all these YouTube channels now, all this independent journalism, and they want you to think that you can't believe them. Yeah, mainstream media is terrible, man. I mean, and people, actually believe this stuff and buy into it. It's propaganda is all it is. They call the government, anytime they don't call them a state or a government, they call them regimes, like they're illegal. See, this is the code words that people use. They've been using it the whole time. Okay? To say that their culture and their values are superior to everybody else's. I'm telling you now, that's bullshit. Okay? Imagine how it used to be back in the day when they didn't even want a black man's blood inside their damn body. But now that they know better, somebody shook their ass awake, they can't get enough blood trying to stay alive. They don't give a damn what you look like. Give me that blood. But it was a time when they didn't want black people touching them. My grandma was one of the first black nurses in the state of Kentucky. Licensed. Okay. She went to the school. What was the name of that college in Nashville? Imagine how long ago that was. They didn't want our blood. They didn't want nothing until the people was like, are you stupid? This blood's going to save your life. The same blood running through your veins, the same running through theirs. Ignorant. Yeah, he said, I Love Lucy had them different beds. Well, that's because of the times, though. You need to be in a different place, man. It's really what you need. Because why in the world would you build a man cave? What's that all about? Okay, you know that the definition, oh, this is my space, don't come in here. You know, you're building a house within a house to get away from her. That's what you're doing. You're all man cave. He said, what's up, Chad? His uncle on his phone or laptop. I got something to say. Well, say it. Say it. Yeah, we don't think the same. Man, look. All we do is this. And then you need to go apart because you wanted 30 days out of the month. She wants it 7 is a problem. As she said, that's why I'm single. I don't want a man jumping all up and down in me all the time. See, that's going to be a problem when you're living together. You wake up with the wood, and she's like, I ain't got time for that. You know, you're going to be angry. She's going to be angry. Well, they're saying that it's all about trust, you know, because living in the same house ain't going to keep you. I mean, unless you want a woman, you know, breathing down your neck with a foot on your neck, that means she can't go nowhere. If I'm standing there with my foot on somebody's neck, I'm not going anywhere either. We both are going to be stuck there. You know, love is love, man. If you really care about somebody, if you really love them, you're not going to do anything like that anyway. Yeah, they got this guy. He's stupid, right? Now he just blew his livelihood over 760 pesos. So it usually takes 400 to 500 pesos to get from Terminal 3 to Terminal 2. But okay, it says, okay, I even went so far as to say, well, what does use mean anyway? Let's put that in context. When you say, oh, she's using me or he's using her. It just says exploited, being taken advantage of, often in relationships or situations where one person benefits at the expense of another. That's what we're talking about when we say, oh, you're being used. Okay, but the old guy, he's, you know, he's sly, man. He's slick. He was like, dude, if you only knew what I was getting over here, you would mind your own business and leave us alone. Okay? Because Bill Withers, go listen to that song. He starts screaming, baby, baby. When you love me, I can't get enough. He you know, it's like, I don't care what they saying. You know. Yes, mutual. It's called mutual exploitation. You're both getting something out of it. Yeah, that's what it says. It says, okay, and then it says, well, manipulate, influencing someone's feelings to achieve a specific outcome, often by exploiting their vulnerabilities, okay? And then, okay, well, what can we do if you feel yourself, if you think you're being used? Okay, first thing is, there's one thing that I try to get guys to do on my vlogs. It says right here, this isn't coming from me. Y'all think I just be on here talking. It says, understand the dynamics of the relationship first, okay? And this is what we're in denial about. Okay, you got to understand it's a game going on over here, man. It's a game being played over here. You got to understand the dynamics, okay? You're retired. You're 64, 68. She's 30. Okay, you got to understand what's going on here. Okay, I'm lonely and you're lonely and she's struggling. Okay, that's what you got in common right there. Okay, and then it says, acknowledge when you feel exploited or taken advantage of. You know it's happening, man. Just say, okay, so you can deal with it one of two ways. You can be like Bill Withers and say, okay, it's so good, I don't care, because I'm using her too. Or you can get out of there, but you're going to get used at our age. It's not many options, okay? It's not many options. You can be lonely and all of that, deprived of female intimacy and all that. Or you can say, what the hell with it, man? I know I'm being used, but I'm using her too. And then it says, evaluate the situation. Are you happy? Are you getting what you want? Should you even care? Okay, is a woman really sophisticated enough, man? She's 20, you're 55. Can she really manipulate you for real without your approval? I don't think so. Yeah, he told his brother that. He said his brother said, he sit me right down, he talked to me. He said, hey, let that woman just walk on you. He's like, brother, if you only knew, you'd wish you were in my shoes, And see, this is what we get most of our pushback from guys on the outside. You don't really see guys in here who are enjoying it too, who are in the same situation you are. You don't see them, arguing amongst each other and all that. We actually give each other that secret look, like, yeah, I know what you're getting. You know what I'm getting. And we leave it at that. But it's people who have no idea, man. If you only knew what was going on, you either get over here or you'd be quiet. But it's a whole lot better. What's that? Than you think.
Nothing here. There in your room.
And I've said it so many times anyway. We're complicit in our own robbery. So if you're getting robbed, you're complicit. You can't blame the woman. You're helping her. Hell, you're handing over the money and then going to the police station and tell them you've been robbed. Hey, man, you doing okay? Yeah, that's right. That's right. This is what we're saying. We're saying that it's better over here, no matter what people say, Philippine prepping. It's better than the life I was living over there. You're not going to go anywhere Philippine prepping and not have any worries at all. You got to take the good with the bad. There's no utopia. Okay? And even if you don't talk about it, you're going to be thinking about it unless you're dumb. Are you dumb? Do you read? Do you think? Do you meditate? Are you just sitting up in an apartment in the Philippines somewhere by your damn self? Huh? That's what I got down here. Fair exchange is no robbery. When two people engage in a transaction that is equitable and mutually beneficial, it's not considered wrong or unjust. I just be trying to get you guys to understand the dynamics over here. But we don't want to. Oh, she wants me for me. And then you got guys 70, 75 online, big vloggers telling you, oh, forget the dating sites. Just come on over here and meet a girl on the street. Man, is it impossible? No. But I'm going to tell you something, man. It's hard to do that. Because these young women don't want you in their face like that. You're going to embarrass them. Okay? Yeah, but he's just a smart ass. That's all. I know what he's doing. Yeah, he says, I'm doing better, Cal. Yeah, TJ was in an accident, man, over in Vietnam. Some woman ran into him. And you gotta be careful over. Are you still in the country? Are you back home in the USA? As the hero came on TV with his chest poked out and his diaper pulled tight and his stilts, walking on stilts, telling you how tough he is, and well, you better leave Tehran by midnight, by sundown. But he won't do that to Russia. You know why? Because Russia's got that nuclear capability to keep them honest. Okay? Yeah, he said, I've been here over 5 years. I haven't argued, cursed, or yelled ever since I've gotten off the planet. Off the plane. But I'm pretty sure she does some things you don't like. Because if she was perfect, you wouldn't be with her. The man who was with her before would be with her. We can't always blame it on the man. You know, it's two people in that fight. He said, I ran into a fellow 8,000 miler cars in Bangkok. Oh, okay, yeah. He had a sharp reaction, yeah. Cars is there right now. Well, that's just, he said, what's Aswang? It's a monster, basically. Yeah, but see, Thomas, you live over here. You know I'm not just talking crap. He said, you can't meet girls on the street. They don't want you up in their face. Which ones are going to want you in their face and which ones are not? Now, after you be here a while and these women get to know you and, oh, okay, Cal's a pretty nice guy. He's single. He doesn't have a Filipino girlfriend. Then they may let you say something to him on the slide when you're coming through the grocery store line. And she's the cashier. Hey, you know, Mr. Aren't you Sunshine Shoulders? They'll say, yeah, you know, and then you go from there. But you think you're going to get off that plane and run up on some people, you know, y'all in a delusion, man. You're in a delusion. But it's really just all about being honest with yourself. Honesty is the best policy. If you don't lie to yourself and think that this 25-year-old woman in the prime of her life wants you because, you know, you're a 62-year-old man, you know, you're overweight, you know, you smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day and you drink a liter of Tanduay, and that's the reason she wants you, and you're handsome. Okay, because this is what these guys are online, they're telling you. I watch the same videos y'all watch. Oh, I'm handsome. I'm not that old. I'm rich, and I can have any Filipino over here I want. That's what they tell you. And so you buy into that. So you already off on the wrong foot. Or they'll tell you that these women are perfect. Now they're different. Because culture does make a difference, but they're not perfect. Because I don't know. Yeah. No. John was drinking a liter a day, maybe more. John was drinking maybe more. A liter of Tanduay was nothing to John, man. When I used to go to John's house before we even did the, you know, me and him doing the Sunshine Shoulders, Moonshine Shoulders, man, John would be drinking early in the morning. And his girlfriend used to be angry with him. Hell, John was drunk. John drank more than most. John drank more by 9 o'clock than most of us drink all day. Yeah. You got to have some type of selling point. It doesn't matter who you are, because the young guys think they're exempt. They're not exempt because they're getting divorced too. They're getting divorced. You know, I don't know why anybody would even push back against that. Like, you know, you need your own place for real. If you really want to work out, you need to live apart together. But it's too late for most of us. But it's not too late for you. If you can find a woman who's okay with that, why wouldn't she be okay with that if you really love her and she knows you love her and you love each other? Trust, that's why I tell you, trust steers the boat, man. It steers the car. Without trust, you ain't got nothing, man. It's all shallow. It don't mean anything without trust because it's not going anywhere. You know, they really think that, you know, because a woman's henpecking you and, you know, jealous and all that, that's a good thing. Oh, she loves me. No, that's a sickness. Jealousy is a form of insanity. He said, bro, do I think we're together because of our mutual interest in quality? Sure. Could we had ever discovered that without her wanting to identify those things? No, we're saying that Men and women. But see, you're talking so soon, TJ. It's only been 3 years or whatever. You guys are talking too soon. I said eventually. Okay, and then you gotta realize y'all get a break from time to time with your job and stuff. You going back and forth to America. Look, man. Okay, men and women, you can't argue this. We're different. We're very different. Biologically, psychologically, socially, culturally. Our interests are different. Our preferences are different. Then you throw on top of that the age gap. It's a wonder that we can stay together at 2 minutes, let alone 2 years. But you've had girlfriends before. I'm pretty sure you've had live-ins before. What happened to that? Okay? Come on, guys. Y'all can't get on here, man, pushing back on this. What happened to that? If what I'm saying isn't true, then what happened? Okay? You got tired of each other. Okay? Nitpicking and arguing about every little thing. And the next thing you know, one day enough's enough. And you pack your bags and leave. Or she packs her bags and leave. We act like we're all in one. This is our first relationship. I'm sorry, it's not. And y'all too early in your relationship to be talking. Wait until they're on down the line. Some of the stuff, they still hiding. Walk in on one of them old fat pads, blood all around it. I'm not saying that don't happen here, but with my first wife, it did. And I didn't like it. I'm like, can't you hide this stuff from me? Oh, this is my house. This is a part of living and all that stuff, right? They become inconsiderate. At first, they'll go into another room and fart. Then pretty soon they farting in your damn face. And you in there trying to eat, and then next thing you know, she done blew a big one out and laughing about it. And you want to throw the whole plate of food in the garbage. y'all need to get honest is what y'all need to do. There's no perfect relationships, man. You got to really work with that stuff. You got to really work on that stuff. I met a beautiful couple the other day. And I took a picture of them because I believe they're the longest married couple I've ever met, that I can remember. It was Kurt and his beautiful wife, Juanita. They're from California. I met them in Ayala in IT Park. And I said, man, how do you stay married 48 years? I said, I was with my wife for 16 years, and we wanted to pull each other's scalp out, And he said something so profound. He said, Cal, you got to burn the ships, And that's all he said. It was so profound because I got it. I know what he's talking about. And there's no turning back, he said. He said, that's why we've been together for 48 years. We went through all of the stuff everybody else does. But he said, I burned the ships. So I guess that's what you got to do. No matter what happens, there's no turning back. Okay? We're either going to win or we're going to perish. That's what the general said. When he took his smaller army over to the island of the enemy and he gathered the men together and he burned the ships in front of them. And they said, why did you burn the ships? He said, because we're either going to win or we're going to perish. There's no going back, guys. And that's the type of attitude you have to win. Well, John had had a heart attack before, earlier in his life. And, we start feeling good. They call that the peculiar mental twist. You start feeling better. You forget the suffering and misery of a week ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, whatever it is. And you think, oh, I'm normal again. I can drink and I can do everything that the doctor told me as a person recovering from a heart attack that I couldn't do. And that's really what John did. He just picked up where he where he left off, man, and eventually caught up with him. But John used to drink so much and smoke so much. I just asked him one day, I said, man, what's going on with you, John? Because that's how I used to drink. You know, I was unhappy. I didn't really want to live, but I said, well, hell, I want to take the easy way out. I'm going to get that bumpy face to take me out. I wasn't going to take a gun and blow my brains out. I was going to drink myself to death. I said, what are you trying to do? Kill yourself, John? I mean, he just wouldn't stop, man. And you can't tell people. You can make all the suggestions in the world like I do on my channel. Like the guy came on here talking about, I came on here to talk about Philippine content. Dude, you're not going to listen to anything nobody tells you to do. When you get over here, you're going to lose your mind like everybody else. You're going to be Bill Withers too. So let's just have fun. Let's just have some conversation, man, and talk about some stuff. Because when you get over here, you're not going to be able to do it. Oh, did you eat yet? Did you take a bath? Are you okay, honey? That's all you're getting, man. You're not getting anything deeper than that. This is where you're going to get it right here. Unless you're in Angeles City or those other expat alley places where there's other expats that you can go around with. Man, if nothing else, my legacy in the Philippines, it's not going to be these live streams and videos. It's going to be the unofficial expat resource center in the Philippines. That's what it's going to be. Where people can come and get out of their shell. And be around people. We need that. He said, from my experience, I can only speak for myself. I'm fortunate to look good for a 66-year-old. Yeah, but do you look good to a 26-year-old, though? Your arcade. You might look good, of course you're going to look good to yourself. Or you might look good to another 66-year-old woman. But are you going to look good to a 26-year-old? Okay? And I don't smoke or drink. I'm in good shape and a slim build. He said, living there in the Philippines for a while, the woman, what do you mean? Finish that. He said, living girlfriends rarely work out. Sometimes you don't want to be bothered. And they don't want to be bothered with us. But people on here, I'm like, well, what happened to your marriage then? What happened to your baby mama then? Something happened. Okay, when you were living together, now you're not living together. You're not even together anymore. It was the beginning of the end. Did it last 10 years? Did it last 20? What did it last? Eventually, you get tired of yourself. How can you live with somebody that's so different from you? Okay? That's all I'm saying. Yeah. They get those ones, what do they call them? They call them, that's for the heavy nights, they call it. And you go in there, you just minding your own business. And there it is laying there looking like a little baby, wrapped in swaddling clothes. And then you're like, man, what the hell did happen? And then she comes back with, it's a part of living. Accept me for who I am. Meanwhile, you got to change everything about your damn life. If you smoke, you can't smoke. If you go to the gym, you go to the gym all the time. If you read, there you go. You get caught up in them books all the time, and you ignore us. Whatever it is, you better improve yourself. Meanwhile, she's going to sit around and become bigger, surely. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. Burn the ships. Elaborate. It means no matter what, TJ, happens, we're going to stay together. That's what he meant. There's no going back. I don't want another woman. She don't want another man. We're just going to fight it out. We're going to work our way through it. And that's what they've done for 48 years. And man, they look good. And I forgot to tell y'all on that post I made in my community page. They were on their way to the gym. They were on their way to the gym. You hear me? They're both in their 70s, but man, they look good. Had all their teeth. It was the whole 9 yards. They look good. Okay, you hear me? Go back and look at that picture on my community page. Kurt and Juanita, they're from California. She's half Japanese, half black. He's black. Okay? What's up, Mo? They were on their way to the gym. Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. But he comes to her. Oh, we'll talk about the war in Iran and Israel. And we're right in the middle of it now. And the one guy says, I don't want to hear about politics. Well, you live in politics. You're surrounded by it. And just because you don't talk about it don't mean it's not going to happen. But no matter what people say, okay, they're going to come over here and do the exact opposite that what everybody else is trying to tell them not to do. They're going to be Bill Withers. I'm Bill Withers, man. Okay, I'm happy. Okay. You can't convince me that, okay, if you're using me, then use me up. It's so damn, it feels good. Okay. But I already knew. See, I've been coming over here since 2009. I already understand the dynamics of the relationships over here. Okay. I already know. He says, I can approach and pull a Filipino person. Does it mean I would approach every beautiful woman I see? No. Does it mean I think I can pull every Filipino? No. Yeah, well, that's good, to have that type of confidence in yourself. But you would be the exception. And then you're young, see? You're not 60-something years old. You would be the exception. It just means the rule is correct. Okay? Because even the guys who could do it, they don't do it. It's too time consuming. Okay? How many women you going to have to talk to before one says, hey, you're only going to be there for 2 weeks. These women are not from outer space. The women who are not online, that don't have that flashing red light, you got to court them. 2 weeks ain't enough. I don't even know you. You want me to do what? You want me to go to Boracay with you? Are you crazy? I'm bringing my mother and my sister and everybody with me when I meet you. Okay? Now, the dating site is different. Okay? We throw caution to the wind. It's like we already know what's going on. Okay? They're going to burn the ships, TJ. There's no turning back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you're still on your honeymoon, man. This isn't rocket science. This is life right here. But there's always going to be somebody, oh, it's not me, until it's you. Unless you on here and it's your first girlfriend, it's your first living partner. Okay? And then to that, I'm going to say eventually. So just enjoy it, man. He said, what's bumpy face? Well, that's that Seagram's gin. It's got the little, the bottle, I guess ridges or something, like bumps all over the bottle. They call it bumpy face. It don't matter, man. They just a little bit more difficult to deal with. Yeah, I think American women get a bad, they get a bad rap because every American man is not trying to leave. He says, I hear all these crazy stories about American women. And I think to myself, I'm hella lucky to have found the last good one, apparently. But hell, how many bad ones did you go through? If you're honest with yourself. Is that the only relationship you've had? And is that the only American relationship you've had? I mean, let's get honest, guys, you know. Because if all the American women were nice, you wouldn't have found this one. She'd be with the man she was with before she met you. Does anybody else see the logic behind that? And then we'll justify everything. Oh, well, they weren't compatible, but I'm compatible with her. Remember, 10 men had your woman before you did, if you're in America. Okay? So the woman you on your knees, you know, confessing your love to, you got the ring, you proposing to. Oh, she's the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, she's the best thing that ever happened to 10 other men. Okay? This is life. This is reality. But it doesn't, I'm the exception, Cal. It's not me. Bullshit. Okay? Yeah, I am. It messes with my libido. You know, I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to, it don't bother you. What you do? She hands you the damn pad wrapped up and tell you to throw it away in the garbage? Here, TJ, throw it away from me. He said, you're right. I had a friend who needed a kidney transplant. His sister donated one. He recovered and immediately went back to smoking, drinking, and using drugs. He was gone in a couple of years. Yeah, they call that the peculiar mental twist. Okay, you forget, man. I'm not making this up. These are for people who research this, whose job it is to, you know, to watch us like that over a long period of time. You know, they're saying like, hey, man, don't you realize that your sister just gave you a kidney, dude? You know, your thinking flips over. You forget, man, the misery. That's all I'm saying. But I'm just saying, if the woman he's with or y'all with is so good, then why are you with her? Why isn't the man who was with her before you still with her, and the man who was with her before he was, and the man who was with her before he was? Okay, what happened there? I mean, because a lot of times the woman's not even going to really tell you how many men she's had. Because she knows you're going to feel a certain way about that. As a man, you really don't care. You're a hunter, you know. But as a woman, she's going to care. You know, she knows I don't want to seem like I'm that type of woman, even though technically I'm that type of woman. I'm not going to tell you for real. How many people are really going to be honest with you about that, man? Y'all better just go ahead and just marry the woman in the damn delivery room and just watch over till she gets to be of age to marry her, you know. Cause y'all, I'm sorry, man. Y'all guys y'all not telling the truth. You know, yeah, we keep it real around here. But some people don't care. You know, you don't think of that when you meet the woman. Remember, guys, listen, look it up. This is your assignment today. It's called the halo effect. The halo effect. When we see a nice looking woman, we attribute all good things to the woman without even knowing her. We give her the benefit of the doubt. You do that with your soon-to-be girlfriend or wife. You don't even question it. How many men she's been with. Okay? How many dinglings she done sucked and all that. You don't even think about that stuff. Or that she took a man for half of his wealth. Because, you know, according to the experts, a man that goes through divorce loses 20 to 50% of his wealth. But you don't even think of it like that. You're going to think, oh, it was his fault. He's the reason why she's with me now. And then you say, there's a song by the Dramatics. Let's give a toast to the fool. And he's talking about, let's give a toast to the fool who let you go. Because now we're together, he can't hurt you no more. They done just forgot about the part she played in it. Yeah, he said, well, that's you, man. That's what I'm saying. We can't put each other into the same basket. It's going to stop me. I stop for red lights. Yeah. Yeah, this is true. This is true. And another thing that draws the attention of other women, believe it or not, is how you treat your woman. See, they know I treat Marilyn good. Okay. And they like that. You know, they're saying, yeah, I want a man to treat me like that. Hey, what's up? Yeah, he said, not a man that acts desperate and insecure. Well, that's what happens when we come over here. He said, what the hell? That's almost half your life, Cisco. I was married 25 years. What the hell was I thinking about? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You know, a man can do that, Sonny D. We don't look at it like that. But a woman, she don't want to marry a man who works at McDonald's. But we'll marry a woman from McDonald's if she looks good and all of that. Men, we don't care like that. But yeah. Yeah, he said, yeah, some of your best years down the drain. But I mean, this is the price we pay. Imagine, okay, you're going to be with a woman for 25 years and then it don't work out. I'll be damned. I feel bad that my 18-year relationship didn't work. But you walk away from that and then you say, I'm never going to do that again. I'll be damned if you don't get married again. Like, what is going on with men? What are we thinking? We're not thinking. You know, 18 years, man. Then at the end, it was bad. The last 2 years was just terrible. I mean, honestly, she wouldn't have pissed in my face if my eyebrows was on fire. That's how much we hated each other. Yeah. But they like that. You know, they respect you for that. He's a good man. He said, yeah, if Jay-Z was in the drive-thru, Beyonce wouldn't have looked at him. Oh, absolutely. But for the other way around, absolutely. Hey, Sonny D, thanks for that super chat. He said, China's waiting for any excuse to take Taiwan. And see, you bring up a great point. They're seeing how all this is going to play out, and they're going to see the world's reaction, right? But see, China is not known for that, though. You have to go way back to see when the last time China actually went to war with its neighbors, way back in the 70s with Vietnam. Okay. But see, the ideology of white supremacy says that, oh, if you're not white, you're not capable of making a wise decision, the correct decision, the right decision. So we're going to make it for you. But the facts is, when you look at China, they haven't went to war. And how many skirmishes and conflicts and wars has America fought since the 70s? You know, we're so hypocritical, man. We're the warmongers because we have the military-industrial complex. We're going to go to war at the drop of the dime. Since we've been on here, Trump is supposedly, with his Security Council, emergency meeting with the Security Council. He counseled the last day at the G7 summit. He warned everybody to evacuate Tehran immediately. What's going on, guys? Who's watching the news? Because I don't watch that news. Yeah, that's old news, TJ. He said, I never heard of her. She wouldn't put piss in my face if my eyebrows was on fire. Yeah, but that's how much we had grown apart. But I was married. It was a shotgun marriage with me anyway. Because at that time, believe it or not, I had come off a run where I spent all my tax money, all my tax, income, my tax return rather. And I didn't have a chip. I didn't have 1 peso left. So I'm begging at the door for her to let me in. And she said, I'm going to let you in. We got to get married. And hell, we got married the next day. There's some crazy circumstances to get married under, but such was my life back then. Okay. Sonny D, thanks for that super chat, man. I really appreciate it. He said, China's still butthurt over the Japanese BS after Taiwan. Japan is going to get hit. Yeah, but it won't be from China, man. Look how long it's been since China. If they do, can't you at least give them that much credit that when you're the big boy on the block, you got to show some type of restraint. You got to be the one, if you're going to be Goliath, are you supposed to just go around like America and go around and just pick on everybody and just steal and take and rob from everybody? We cannot keep our hands away from war. We just left Afghanistan. And before that, Iraq. I mean, y'all guys got to do some reading for yourself. Do you think if we can't defeat all these countries without the atomic bomb, we can't beat Iraq, which go look at how much bigger Iran is than Iraq. We can't even defeat the Taliban. They're back in power. We can't even defeat those guys over in Yemen. And you're talking about going to war with Iran, man. It's just a waste of life, man. Yeah. It's right. This is what we're talking about, Cedric. If you cut on the news, man, it's pitiful. They're all owned by the Zionists anyway. Okay, the biggest news organizations, they're all owned by the Zionists. So what do you think? You better not say anything against Zionist Israel. You better twist your story. Go on Fox, man. Go on Sky News. Go on any of them, man, right now. Sickening. But he says there's a lot of disinformation and fake news about the war, Israel-Iran. But when the dust settles, it'll be much worse than before. And yet the U.S. is aiding and abetting to the detriment of us. Yeah, I said that earlier. War doesn't solve anything. It actually makes things worse. Okay, remember we invaded Iraq and guess what? Gave birth to who? ISIS. Okay, we're still fighting ISIS. It's just never ending, but the military-industrial complex doesn't cure. And people say, oh, it's not real, Cal. It is real. Believe it or not. And that's not a pun, no pun intended. It is real. Okay? Well, no, I'm sorry, but we didn't. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's unthinking, dude, of you to even say this, with all the young people, some of our best and brightest died over that for nothing. And he says, we could defeat Iraq, but rules of engagement dictate how we execute war. Okay, that's spitting in the face of all those brave soldiers and airmen and seamen and Marines. Okay? They knew that going in then. D cells 3. So why send our young men and women in there if you know we can't win? You know we can't beat the Taliban, but you're going to talk about fighting Iran. You know, I'm more worried about Israel using atomic weapons than Iran, because this is the behavior they've shown us. Look over in Gaza, man. It doesn't matter what the news is telling you. They've been doing that for how many years? Long before October 7th, guys. Stop with all that foolishness. It's a Holocaust over there that they're committing right in front of your face. And to draw attention away from it, okay, they're going after Iran, which Israel knows without the United States and without nuclear weapons, they don't have a chance against Iran. No, I'm sorry. No, you won't. You crazy. BBC canceled the, okay, first of all, after Mohammed Barandi, the professor at University of Tehran, once he just mopped Sky News, mopped the floor with Sky News, the BBC called off his interview. BBC bullshit. And Al Jazeera is getting just as worse, man. I'm telling you, man. I was watching Al Jazeera because I thought, well, let me watch this. Maybe I can get some real information about what's going on. Hell, they're crying about the people that died over in Israel. They're not even talking about all the hundreds that died in Iran. It's the same stuff, man. Look at a lot of their correspondents now. They're American or Western. You ain't gonna get no news from BBC when the UK is in bed with Israel more than the United States. Come on, guys. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. Y'all know better. Okay. Yeah, let's hope, man. He says, Rob in the field said, Unc, I got to fly back to the Philippines on July 4th, but I hope I make it safe by the grace of the universe. Absolutely, guys. I wouldn't fly right now. It's too dangerous. And then with Trump talking tough as he is, see, we got to pay for that. While y'all megas are sitting back bragging, oh, look at our president, he got this backbone, he's tough, with soft targets everywhere. They've already said it. And while you're going to be dead somewhere in the ground, these same ornery cocksuckers are going to be doing the same stuff. While you dead somewhere, you somewhere sipping on a damn iced tea somewhere and the whole damn place blows up. They're going to be doing the same thing. Okay? He's talking tough out there right now. You better leave Tehran immediately. Well, I thought you said the United States didn't have nothing to do with it. Trump always chickens out. He's flip-flopping at our expense. Okay? If y'all only knew, man. We was talking about this the other day. How many planes have been diverted? How many flights have been canceled? Delta said to hell with it from New York to Tel Aviv until August 31st. What did they know that we don't know? The Eastern Iraq, what are you doing? Is the one of the busiest air quarters on the planet. Planes going back and forth, certainly from Asia to Europe. It's disrupted, guys. You think I'm going to be up there right now? Somebody's going to get shot down. Yeah, well, why would you make a statement like that then? That really wasn't a good statement to make. Yeah, man, come on, man. BBC is nothing. It might as well be ABC, you know. Now they're going to do a whole documentary basically on saying that Iran is going after civilian targets over there, knowing that Israel puts a lot of their military stuff around civilian targets. And what do you call what's going on over in Gaza? You don't think those are civilian targets? Okay, and all the people they killed in Iran, children included, and they'll say, oh, because we were going after those military leaders. Now imagine if a country killed the top military leaders of America or Israel. It would be nonstop propaganda on a loop. Okay, it would be World War III. But while this guy is over there talking tough, he is not going to fight. This guy wears a dapper. He wears stilts. He paints his face orange every damn day. He's never fought in a war. Never stand up for the military. He's a draft dodger. But he's talking tough. He's going to put everybody in harm's way. I'm supposed to get behind that and agree to that? No. Hey, TJ said, let me waste my 1 year chat to say that people should always compile your opinion from multiple credible sources. You need a ground news sponsorship. Absolutely. But it's a distraction from a lot of stuff. Okay, why in the world are we going to war with Iran? Iran is not a threat to the United States, man. Okay? It's not even a threat to Israel. They're talking about, it's going to wipe Israel off the map. How many times has it said that? How many times is Israel is actually wiping people off the map? Okay, but we have no problem with Iran. Trump's doing this for his political life. He's trying to save his political life, man, because without this, he's going to get impeached. The economy's going down the drain. There's no deals coming across the table. It's just lie after lie after lie after lie. They're getting ready to try to send this man to prison, this Garcia guy. Y'all seeing it in real time, what they're capable of, man. But we've been trying to tell y'all that for years. It's an unequal system over there. Okay? But y'all voted for that. And y'all knew what y'all were voting for. That's why, I don't have no sympathy for you. Yeah, man, I wouldn't be flying right now. You couldn't pay me to fly. Yeah, well, he's talking about putting 36 more people, 36 more countries on the no entry zone or whatever it is to America. Man, this is crazy, man. Okay, they just stopped. Okay, a judge just shot down where they're trying to turn back some type of DEI affecting, marginalized people, LGBTQ, black people, brown people, and all that. He said he shot it down. He says, this is the worst racism I've seen in 40 years. He said, doesn't the United States have any shame? And he said, this is a guy who was appointed by Reagan. But y'all act like it's not happening. Y'all sit around like it's not happening. You don't say nothing. You don't join the protest. You don't do nothing but push back against me. You don't want me talking about it. The Young Turks can talk about it. And all the rest of them. David Packman, they can talk about it. The Midas Touch. All these white guys can talk about it. But when you got a regular, everyday, ordinary black man, it's going to put his opinion out there. You will push back against me. I don't have millions of subscribers like they do. Okay? And, just anybody white can get on here and just spout whatever opinion they got. Let me do it. Oh, we want to hear Filipino content. Go back to America. Why'd you come over here? Man, I'm living. This is life, guys. Okay? That's all I'm saying. But thank y'all so much for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up. Just another lively live stream, man. You're not going to get it nowhere else. I'm not going to take you grocery shopping with me. I'm not going to tell you that as a 70-year-old man, you can come over here and get all up in the face of some woman over here, a 25-year-old woman. Okay, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to tell you all the lies. But he said, like Bush claimed about Iraq. But guess whose intelligence we were going off of? Yeah, you guessed it, Netanyahu. Okay, Netanyahu in Israel. No good and well, man, ain't have no weapons of mass destruction. Now they're saying that Iraq had enough, uranium to produce 10 nuclear bombs. Man, y'all crazy, man. That would have took a long time to do that. It was no imminent danger. Hey, thank you, brother. I'm just saying that Muslims, and that would give me a problem. It's these Christians and so-called Christians who given me hell my whole life. Okay? The trolls are Christian. Are so-called Christian. Okay? They're trying to get rid of all the they don't withdrew, they don't put pressure. Listen to this. This is your president. They'll put pressure on these corporate sponsors. You can't sponsor anything that has to do with DEI. So they've withdrawn all their sponsorship from the Juneteenth celebrations. That big Juneteenth concert they have every year may have to be shut down. But they don't want to tell you that it's white women that are benefiting the most from DEI. Okay? But the MAGA and all the people who voted for Trump, who walk around with their chest poked out, this is our country, they want you to think that it's black people. We're last on the list, dude. Okay? We're under veterans, we're under LGBTQ, we're under Latinos. Black people are at the bottom. Okay? That's what y'all got a problem with. Okay? But it's white women benefiting from that. Okay? Look that up. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's why I can't deal with MAGA. Y'all can unsubscribe from me. I don't care. I don't care who you vote for, but you knew what you were voting for. White supremacy. We're going to get it out. We're going to wipe white supremacy off the planet. It affects everybody. It's bullshit and it's not real. There is no racial hierarchy with whites at the top. So that means that it's okay for them to dominate and control everybody else. Their culture and values are not superior to everybody else's. That's a lie. Take care.